hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Wow, I hope you all didn't have your headphones on there.
Welcome back to Horny Creek. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is May 19th? 18th?
It's one of those days.
It's one of those days, 1999.
I literally don't even know what day of the week we release this on anymore.
Yeah, it's okay, though. The day the show comes out, that's the day the episode, the day you're watching the episode, that's when it comes out. 4
episodes a week. I can't keep it straight anymore.
Nah, I know. It's
y'all are spoiled.
It's more than a labor of love now for us. It's a labor of labor. Kind of a non-horny episode. Like, not a lot of... There's a little...
I don't think there's very much horniness at all.
There's a little bit. There's a little fucking...
Dawson Creek
and,
disappointed me with the horniness.
Dawson and Joey horniness a little bit. But other than that, it's a lot of bad shit.
Yeah, it's a pretty downer episode.
Change is dead to change.
So
that's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
You think that's a reference to that song, right? Obviously.
Sure.
Time may change me. I can't change time.
It really doesn't have to be a reference to the song, though. It could just be about the changes that are happening in the episode.
But why is it
Dawson's...
changes? It's literally written out like that.
Oh.
CH ... CH ... CH.
Okay, fine then. Yeah, it is. I'm sure. You're right.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, always.
No.
Dawson.
Not even.
Oh my God, she got choked up. God struck her mute for daring to say that I'm not right.
I am out of my allergy medicine. Okay.
So we enter Dawson.
Ew. What is wrong with you?
We enter Dawson's Creek in Dawson's room,
as per usual.
Yes,
and
not
fucking with the rotation anymore.
He's watching Humphrey Bogart and what's her name? It's Casablanca.
Deborah Carr?
No. Good guess.
I don't know.
It's not From Here to Eternity or The King and I guess. But no, it's the woman he was with.
So yeah,
Bacall,
watching
Lauren Bacall.
Casablanca.
Here's looking at you, kid. Here's to all the things we did. You know that song, Key Largo?
No.
Oh my God.
So,
if any of you guys don't remember that song, find a copy of Key Largo.
Or if any of you actually do remember the song, just let us know, because I kind of think he's making it up at this point.
Oh, wow.
So, Dawson.
Yes.
He's watching Casablanca, and he has a homework assignment, because he's watching this for school.
Yeah, he's watching it for school.
Because he now has to interview somebody.
A vampire.
No,
he has to... So... The assignment is, like, talk about the character development and change, the character arc of Humphrey Bogart's character, I can't remember his name, in Casablanca, and then Rick, that's his name. And then...
Sam is the piano player.
Yeah, I know. Equated to... Ilsa's is Lauren Bacall.
Play it again, Sam.
And anyway, so... Like, compare it and contrast with your life is essentially...
Not with your life, with someone in your life who's gone through changes.
Yeah, with someone in your life who's gone through changes, correct.
Yeah.
That's the assignment. And he decides, he's trying to write it, and he's writing out, my teacher's a bitch, and everything, and then he erases it. And he's like, how come all the people that hate us are the ones we want to prove ourselves to?
I don't know, man. Because that's not true for everybody.
No.
That's just Dawson.
But anyway, so he's like, oh, I got an idea. I'll film it.
Yeah.
And I'll go to each one of the characters in our TV show that we're filming, and I'll say, explain your character arc.
Each one? I thought he only interviewed Joey's dad. Did I fall asleep during this episode?
No, he only interviewed you're right. He only interviewed Joey's dad, but he tried to interview all the other characters in the show.
Oh, he was the only one who agreed.
He starts out with Joey, then he goes to Jen, then he does Jack, then he goes to Pacey, And eventually he's like, yeah, okay, and like because nobody wants to do it. That I thought was good because I was really worried. I was really worried we were going to get like the dreaded tell don't show. Let's explain every character's character arc
No.
over the course of the season. And I was like, no, please. But then we talk to a character that we really don't know a ton about, so it helps.
Yeah, we're actually getting some decent exposition.
Yeah, and he doesn't and it's not, when he does interview Joey's dad, it's not just like, well, let me tell you about my character and my motivations and what my arc is. Like, it's better written than that. It's more just like an actual conversation, and we get a little depth to his character. Not a ton, but we get, enough. We get enough.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel forced, like it's being shoved down our throats.
But then we end up feeling it's all bullshit later. But
true.
He asked him like what motivated him to change because he was like fucking
to change
in prison for drugs,
right?
And he talks about how much he loves his daughters and how he couldn't stand how they'd look at him and
it's the
yada
world's
yada.
Tiniest violin, He's like, oh, like. I'll tell you what, I don't know that I've changed that much. That's the one honest thing he says.
Right.
I don't know if I've changed that much, but I just try to be better each day and, do something for somebody that you love just to do something for them. Think of them first and blah, 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 and all this shit. Like, it's actually, we're saying this like very jaded because of what happens, but it is touching while he's saying it.
Yeah, sure. And Joey has to get up and leave the room because she's, upset by what he's saying.
She's like, why are you bringing up all this old stuff and everything?
She's afraid Dawson's going to trigger him to, like, end up, relapsing or whatever because he's talking about all this upsetting stuff about what he did to his wife. And
she's like, why don't you turn the camera on yourself, Dawson? And Dawson's like, because I'm afraid I'm not good enough for you. You've moved beyond me. I'm just silly old Dawson. I haven't had a character arc. Which it's weird because
it's true.
It is kind of true. Like all the other characters on the show have actually gone through really big changes. And he hasn't really. Like the stuff that's changed for him is stuff that's changed for other people around him. His parents' marriage or Joey, or like he really feels, and I feel like this has to be Kevin Williamson's point of view character. Like he has to identify with Dawson, I would imagine.
Okay,
but it really feels like he has no agency in the show. That everybody else makes decisions and does things, and he's just like carried along with it.
Yeah, I agree. He is not his own force.
No, not at least. Certainly not now. Maybe that will change in the future of the show. I don't know, but certainly not now. But yeah. In addition to this, before he starts talking to the dad, he comes into I almost called it the Peach Pit. What the fuck's it called?
Oh my god.
The Ice House.
Yeah. He
comes into the Ice House, and the dad is building a stage for like Saturday nights or something for people to dance on and everything, and like a little club area or whatever. And he's doing all this carpentry and stuff, and he's got a buddy over there, a buddy from the old days with him. Oh, they used to be in the Merchant Marines together. I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Does it?
Yeah.
Why?
No, you don't know what the Merchant Marines are?
I mean, I know there's some kind of military thing, and it's a boat. I mean, that's all I got.
Kind of. I mean, not really. So, like, sort of. For all of you out there who don't know what the Merchant Marines are, I don't even know that they're still that big of a thing anymore. I guess they are, but you don't hear about it a lot. The Merchant Marine Corps, or whatever you want to call it, is essentially a cooperation between private enterprises, laborers, shippers, and stuff like that, the military and government, and they kind of work together. They're governed by both government bodies and private corporations. There are mariners, there are laborers, so it's like a mix of all those things. Their job is to coordinate the import and export of large goods. Okay. So like big shipments of things and stuff like that. So they're good at trafficking large, orders of goods. So he used to work in the Merchant Marines, which, makes sense as a background for a drug trafficker.
Sure.
But yeah, he's working with one of his old friends, and I guess just to kind of get to it, this happens towards the end of the episode. But Dawson walks in. He spent all night building a fence for Joey.
Yeah, that was sweet.
He's
creepy.
He's bad at carpentry.
Weird.
He's not good at carpentry.
No,
he's no Jesus.
What the fuck?
Jesus was a good carpenter by all metrics. But anyway, so he's not good at carpentry. He's no Joseph either. Joseph is a good carpenter too.
Yeah, no, he just sucks. And Joey's like, don't tell him.
Right. But anyway, he spends all... She comes up to him and she's like, oh, this is a sexy look for you and everything. And we just need to get you some denim or, whatever. And stuff like that. And, I mean, I know you think it's sexy when I'm doing hard labor.
I do. I have to admit it, I do.
But...
do you think that's sexist?
No, I think it's normal. I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, I understand. I look in charge and like I know what I'm doing and competent. But anyway, one thing I noticed that was kind of weird. Her dad and Dawson look a lot alike. They have the same haircut. I mean, they don't have similar faces.
No.
Her father's hair is darker and everything.
Yeah.
But when he walked up, I almost expected, I was like, wait, did she just fucking describe what her dad was wearing? And she didn't. But it made me look at both of them, and I was like, their hair's like really the same? And like, they're dressed kind of the same right now, and she's all like attracted to him. I was like, I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, but it's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because she definitely has daddy issues.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. But anyway, so... Dawson builds this fence for her to be all sweet and everything. It's a decent looking white picket fence. Yeah. He comes to bring the tools back to the ice house, and he opens the door, and the dad is talking to his merchant marine buddy, and they've got these little like tiki vases or something like that. Mm-hmm. And inside of them, guess what? Cocaine.
Yep, big old baggies.
He was arrested for trafficking marijuana.
Which is probably a lesser charge, I would think.
I would guess he's out already.
Yeah.
He was only in jail for like 3 years or something. Not only 3 years in jail is a long time. For any of you that don't think that 3 years in prison's a long time, try to spend 3 years in prison.
See how that goes.
But, it looks like he's graduated to cocaine.
Good.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so now Dawson is stuck in this terrible position of trying to decide whether to keep a secret or tell Joey. And it's only half a choice because he's so bad at keeping secrets. Like, there's no way he's going to sit on this and she's not going to be able to tell something's wrong.
Oh, my God.
At one point, she even asked him if something's wrong. And he's like, oh, no.
I hope he can keep this secret because...
He's not going to. You know he's not.
He should absolutely not tell her.
Agreed. But you know he will. Because he's Dawson, and he can't keep shit to himself.
Just let the dad sell drugs. Because she's like... At one point in the episode, she's like, oh my God, my life's so fucking perfect. Everything's great. She goes, I have you. I mean, that's the thing she leaves for last, that she has Dawson. Because Dawson's feeling insecure, and she's saying, like, no, it's the opposite. Like, you're the best. But she's like, I've got you. I've got my dad back. We're a family together. We've got money now. Like, she's like, we're doing really well at the ice house, I think, even though it's like only like half full a lot of times. But we've got a lot.
Did she actually say that?
No.
Okay.
But we've got a lot of money now, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, they're like building some kind of stage for like having live music come in and play, and
I think it's got to be a front for something else. I mean, like. The whole thing is like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with the money laundering. I mean, you've got to have some kind of business, but it seems like the ice house was not great, but it was supporting them. So I mean, it's not like it's not doing any business or
they
whatever.
were the poor kids, though.
Yeah,
clearly they were the poor kids.
Yes.
And they at least in the early episodes when her sister was still on the show, more than like every seventh episode,
right?
And the husband and the baby, they're just gone. But anyway, they did talk about how they struggled and stuff a lot. So, I think he's definitely laundering that money through the ice house, which makes sense. And I guess the shipments of lumber, stuff like that, and all the vases, obviously.
All the improvements he's doing.
Yeah, that's an easy way to smuggle in drugs and shit like that. So it makes a lot of sense why he's doing all this stuff.
But he's now got to sell it, so that's where the big danger comes into.
Do you think this started just now?
What, the selling?
Yeah, like the drug stuff. Because remember, like 2 episodes ago or whatever, before Abby Morgan died, he had that big idea, let's have a fucking wedding and stuff like that.
Yeah, do the catering business.
Yeah, like, did that not go as well as he thought? Was he actually trying, like, hey, let's play it straight? And he's looking at the bills and he's like, oh, fuck, this is not going to work.
Yeah, probably. Probably. He probably was like, no, we're not going to be this poor.
Yeah.
So... he'll end up back in prison, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where I see it going. What do you think?
Or dead from...
oh, God. But he's not doing the drugs. He's just selling the drugs.
No, but drug-related... I mean, yeah, drug dealers never get shot.
Okay. Sure.
I'm just saying, like, it's a dangerous world that he's put himself in, and it's pretty easily could go wrong for him.
Yeah. Agreed.
But, yeah, I mean, you agree with me. You don't think he should say anything to her.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's his place. I don't think it's good. Like, I don't know. But like you said, now, granted, she comes in right after he's seen the drugs. And he's like, oh, everything's fine. Like, he hasn't had a chance to actually, like, put on his lying face or whatever.
Right.
But he's not good at it.
No. I am very worried that he's going to spill the beans.
Yeah, me too.
But we'll see how it goes.
But other stuff's happening in the episode.
Yeah, we've got Pacey and Andy and Jack and Jen. Mm-hmm. So Jen is dealing with the fact that, like, her grandmother had kicked her out.
Yeah.
And she's kind of being triggered by what's going on with Andy and Jack, because Andy and Jack's father's in town. And he's like, I'm going to take you guys home and take care of you. We're
going to be a family again.
Which is... like, to them, kind of awful news because they don't want him to take care of them.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah. But Jen looks at this and she's like, I'm not even living it with my Grams anymore. I'm living with Dawson. Like, I should be with my parents. I want them to take care of me. Mm-hmm. And she calls and asks her mom if she can come home. And her bitch-ass mom says no. Not right now. It's not a good time.
It's not a good time to have you back in my life.
What in the fuck?
My child. And the dad apparently is like, I'm still not over.
Last time.
Yeah.
When I found you, like, doing
having
whatever.
Sex
yeah.
with the guy.
Whatever. Get over it.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing is, like, her parents are fucking awful.
Yeah.
I really hate her parents.
And we haven't even, like, met them. But just in theory, they're bad people.
Well, it's just... I can understand saying, like, look, this city's too fast for you or whatever. Go to small town living. Like, I get it for a little while or whatever. But I couldn't stay away from my child for that long.
Yeah.
And, to never visit. They've never visited her.
Yeah.
Come and see how she has acclimated to this.
Awful people. So, so she's, like, heartbroken. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, like I said, Andy and Jack's dad. He is a fucking asshole. So, I mean, he is saying to Jack, like, I'm going to take, Andy home and her mom and get them help. And, you can talk to somebody about your problem.
Well, here's the thing. Before he says that, he actually kind of sounds reasonable. Because the dad comes in and Jack's there and Andy's there. And he's like, yeah, you know what's going to happen. So I'm here. We're going to pack up our shit and we're going to leave. And Jack's like, what? We have finals. Like, what the fuck? And he's like, you're going to stay an extra week, Jack, so you can finish your finals and everything before you transfer over to Providence. That's where they're from. Mm-hmm. And go to high school back there. But your sister needs to leave now. And he's like, look, your mom and your sister need constant... like not supervision, but like they need constant mental health medical care. And he's like, so we need to be together as a family to do this. So I want us all to go live there. I'm going to talk to Andy, I'm going to talk to your teachers and we'll get everything with your finals like worked out and everything. Because you're having hallucinations now. I don't understand why he wants to be a family again. Like, is he okay? Like, I mean, obviously he's not okay, but like, he ran away after the son died and like fucking abandoned his family and abandoned the wife to just deteriorate into mental nothingness.
Right.
And all of a sudden now he wants to help. I guess because it's happening to his daughter too.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know. It's weird that he's all of a sudden like, we need to be a family again. I want us all to be together again.
Well, last episode, Jack's like, Dad's got the money to take care of this. Mm-hmm. And that's all Jack wanted from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that probably would have been just as good, if not better, to just be like, I'll pay for help.
Well, I mean, they make good arguments in this episode. Like I said, he sounds reasonable when he's like, look, they need, this and everything. And as you pointed out, it's like they're teenagers or whatever. Obviously, they need adult help.
Yeah.
And the mom's in no position to provide.
We never
that.
even see her. She's just like a theory in this.
Yeah, exactly. She's an idea. He comes out of a room and he's like, "Yeah, your mom's in there."
Right. Whatever.
But so then Pacey makes a good counter argument because Pacey's like, "Look, she needs help. You can get," because he comes to the dad and like starts arguing with him, and he's like, "Yeah, she needs help. You can get her help here. Like, it's better for her to be here because she has a support system here.
Yeah,
she has me. She has her brother. She has a bunch of friends. Like, taking her away is too harmful to her progress." Sure.
Yeah. Prior to that, though, honestly, Pacey's like right on the edge here because, like, when she tells him that the dad wants to take her away, he looks like he's about to lose his shit. Mm-hmm. He takes some calming breaths, takes a moment to think. He's like, no, see, it's not going to happen because he's going to listen to what we're going to tell him, and this is what we're going to tell him, and he does, like you said, make a decent argument. But I mean, his argument is, let me and the other teenagers take care of her.
Right. Well, no, he says she can get help, but like...
Yeah, but, I mean, the difference he's talking about is not the help, it's the support system that's a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah, yes, I understand. But a support system is still good and helpful when you're going through a mental health crisis.
I'm not saying it's not, but it's to his dad, especially that stuffy asshole... He's not going to think anything.
Well, yeah, and he even says to Jack later, he's like, a teen romance is not what I consider like a big important fucking thing,
right?
For her mental health or whatever. But he is on the edge too because when Dawson starts talking to him and starts filming him, and he's like, "Hey, you made all these changes. You're the fucking hero of your life or whatever. You turned yourself around academically and stuff. Let's talk about it." And then Pacey just goes into this diatribe about like, "Yeah, I feel like a fucking fraud, and like everyone's gonna know that it was just Andy. It was never me, and like that's the only difference is that like I changed for her and stuff, and without her I'm gonna fucking die." And like, and he is
not good.
He's right on the edge of like fuck everything. But then Jack makes the best argument of all.
Sure.
Where Jack says to the dad, "You haven't given her everything that you can give her, like you said you were going to." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm doing all this for her." And he goes, "You haven't given her the choice. She needs to make the choice whether to stay or to go." And so he makes a well-reasoned argument. Now, the asshole stuff that you're talking about comes up, and that's when, at first, he sounds reasonable. And then he goes, "But you need help too, And he's talking about like fucking conversion therapy and shit.
It's like other people have changed.
Insidious shit. He doesn't say it by name.
No.
But that's what he's talking about. He's like, "Well, you're confused and everything about being gay and stuff like that. And maybe if you played with G.I. Joes a little bit more, And
he blames himself for not being around enough.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. At one point, he does say that. And Jack's like, "It's not your fault." Like, it's like, because he's like, "I don't know why would you choose this or whatever." And he's like, "It's not a choice. Because you wouldn't."
Right.
You wouldn't choose to be gay, mostly. Like, it's a harder fucking path to take.
For sure.
But anyway, so it's a really ridiculous thing. but he's like, I can't live with you or whatever. He's like, you're giving me the choice too, and I'm not going. And he's like, you want me to let you stay here alone in this house or whatever? I'm selling the fucking house. He's like, I don't care. I'm not going with you. We can't live with each other. And then he says something to, like, Jack's got a lot of nice lines in this episode, but he says to him, he's like, look, if I come and live with you, then inside of a month, I'll start changing the way that I think, changing my actions to please you, because that's what I do. So now we know why he was hiding it for so long. He's like, and I can't be me, with you. And I mean, that's, but like, basically he's sold. I mean, he's 17. He's going to be an adult soon.
Yeah.
So like, he's like, basically like, you can't fucking make me and I'm not coming. Andy, on the other hand, though, says that she does want to come. And then Andy makes another reasonable argument. I think all the arguments here are reasonable. Andy says, it's the very fact that you're here, Pacey, to support me that I can't stay here. Because part of what I think is, she doesn't say exactly like this, I'm paraphrasing, but she's like, part of what I think is so hard and is making it worse and everything and making it harder to get better is I'm so worried about you and what I'm doing to you and what this does to us and all that stuff. And that makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
So, and she's the one that would know best how, it's going to affect her mentally to get better. So she does make the decision to go with her father.
Yep. So
I guess Andy's leaving the show.
And Pacey's in, like, denial, basically. And he's just like, okay, you know what we need? Like, we need a night out. We need a date. She's like, there's so much to do. Like, she's talking about packing all her shit and leaving. And he's like, we're going to go out and have a date. But she does it for him.
They do, yeah. They go out to the place where they first kissed.
And it's super sad. And they do a lot of forehead nuzzling, which I find really weird.
You were tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, I was. It's sad.
It is sad.
Like, they really love each other, and their hearts are breaking, especially Pacey's. Like, she's choosing it, and, like, I get, like, whatever, she's sick, she's taking care of herself. Like, I'm not mad at her, but I feel worse for him.
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny because, like, I did not like her character or want her character to exist at the beginning of when she first came onto the show, and now I'm like, oh, it's sad that she's leaving, though.
It is.
She does feel like a part of things now.
And, like, what's going to happen to poor Pacey? Like, he's got such low self-esteem, and he's like, he said, like, she created this character.
Yeah.
She gave me someone to be. So, like, his whole sense of identity and all the improvements he's made is all wrapped up in her. So he's just probably going to, like, circle the drain when she's gone.
It's fucked up. I really expect him to just revert to what he was before.
Which sucks, because, like, you know that he has the potential to do so much more now.
I do wonder, though, if the actress is leaving the show, like Abby did, or if... Because the next episode is the last episode... Next week's the last episode of the season. And then, obviously, they go on summer break, and then they'll come back for another season. But... Are they just going to have her gone for summer? Like, is that going to be her story, that she's, like, gone for summer and then she comes back?
We'll see.
Or is she just gone? So, I'll be interested to see that. Jack, either way, is staying. We know that.
Yeah, he refused to leave, and then...
He talks, he somehow finds out that Jen's gotten a bus ticket and is leaving.
It's like they have some kind of fucking psychic link.
It is weird.
But yeah, so Jen packs her
like
shit.
Tomax and Zamet.
What the fuck?
That's another G.I. Joe reference. They were twins. And Tomac and Zamet, their names are each other spelled backwards. But when one, like...
Palindrome?
No, it's not a palindrome. Because it's... I mean, if you put the names together, I guess it's a palindrome.
Okay.
But, like, if one fell off a building or something like that, the other would be like, like, because he could psychically feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Grandpa.
They were That is not a Grandpa reference. It's just a reference you don't get.
Like I said, going forward, anything I don't get makes you a Grandpa.
Okay.
Okay.
They were the ones that helped launder the money for the terrorist organization Cobra.
Okay.
It's a weird way to sell toys, but that's what we did in the 80s.
For sure.
Anyway, go ahead.
What was I saying?
He comes up to Jen. He finds Jen at the bus station.
Jen had packed up all her shit.
Yes.
And she went to Graham's house, and I thought at first that she was going to knock on the door and ask if she could stay with Graham.
That's what I thought was happening, too.
But instead, she just doesn't knock at all and goes by Graham's and walks away.
Yeah.
And she goes to the fucking bus station. And she's, like, getting on a bus. And Jack runs up, and he's like, wait, you can't leave. And
Where are you going?
And she explains.
She's like, Idaho.
Did she say Idaho?
No.
No, she had nowhere. I don't know where the fuck that bus was going.
Piedmont.
But she explains, that, like, she asked if she could go home, and her mom said no and all that stuff. And she's like, so I'm just leaving. He's like, but you have nowhere to go. She's like, I have everywhere to go, just no one will be there.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that's no good, Jen. No.
That's the road to death.
So he says, no, you need to come stay with me. So now these two 17-year-olds or 17 and 16-year-olds are supposed to be living together alone with no adult supervision in a house.
At least he's gay, though, so there's no chance.
At least, I guess.
Shenanigans.
Do either of them even have a job? I mean, okay, he works at the ice house, and she doesn't even have a job.
No, but the house is paid for. It doesn't matter.
Apparently, her parents sent her money, though. She mentioned that her mom was like, is this a ploy to get more money every month?
Well, Jack says something, again, really profound. They give Kevin Williamson gives all the best lines to Jack in this episode. He says, "Look, I don't remember how he opens it, but he says something like about love, and he was like, how you love this or whatever." He's like, that's how love of a parent and a child should be, unconditional, where nothing can change.
Because he's talking about how his mom loves him and how he knows it no matter
what. Yeah, that's right.
Because she loves him unconditionally.
Yeah, because he says, I often wonder how she would react if she was aware of what's going on with me, that I'm gay, and everything. And he goes, I think she would be fine with it because, that's how love should be. And he goes, but not everyone's capable of that. Not everyone's capable of unconditional love. And he was like, as horrible as it is for us, it's worse for them. He's like, because it's horrible to not be able to love and not be loved back, or to only love because you get something out of it.
No, he said that it's harder to not be capable of love than to not be loved.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, which, I don't know, I guess. I feel like it hurts him a lot more to not be loved than it hurts his dad to not love him, but... Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. But, so that's when he's like, you need to come with me.
Yeah, so she's going home with Jack to this house that his dad had mentioned selling, so I don't know if they're really going to be able to stay there or what's going to happen.
They'll get an apartment or something.
At 17.
They'll move into, to...
Graham's house.
No, they'll move into fucking... What? TV,
Dawson's house?
TV... Stop!
What?
Let me say it!
I can't. You're not saying it.
They'll move into Mr. O'Leary's apartment.
Okay.
TV's The Flash.
Sure. Dawson's mom could leave, and then all three of the teenagers could live in her house.
I guess, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
No, I don't either.
I think she'll leave. Mr. O'Leary will move back into the house because that's what they said they were going to do, and they'll take his apartment. Yeah. It's a set they have.
Sure. I guess we'll see. It's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
Somebody should be watching those children.
Yeah. Okay, Grandma.
Yeah.
I think that's all that happens.
It is. I'm pretty sure.
So tell people where they can live together.
You can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yep.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Da.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.